What's going on, folks? It's your boy Fabio from Limit of Advanced Arms, better known as Fab, just for short. Let's not get into the whole name things, all right? All right. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope that everyone's being safe. And speaking of safe, I got a video for you guys today about universal gun safety. I know what you're gonna say. However, safety is a big thing. Safety is a big thing, especially when it comes to handguns, handling firearms, and things of that nature. It's a big responsibility. So that's why I came here today to kind of talk about some of the universal kind of rules, if you will, the holy grails, if you will, of gun safety. So we're gonna go with five of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 5 rules that'll basically get you started and not get you kicked off a shooting range, not get you hurt by gun enthusiasts that know what they're doing, and basically keep everyone safe, because safety is paramount, right? Safety is paramount, so we gotta take that into account. So here we go. Number 1, we're gonna treat all firearms as if they're loaded, right? We always, whenever we see a weapon, we don't know who had it, where it's at. If a gun's just laying down on a table, we always want to assume in the back of our mind, hey, this gun might be loaded, right? Because you just got to expect the worst, no matter what. So that's number 1, right? Always assume that a weapon is loaded. So what do we do about that? When we see a weapon, right? Let's see a weapon. I got my weapon here in my CQC holster, not for video purposes. I might be flagging the camera, things of that nature. And for you gun buffs out there, I did safe the weapon beforehand, but nonetheless, for video purposes, here we go, right? I approach this weapon as if it's loaded, right? You see the little indentation of the magazine that's protruding from the bottom, so you always assume that the weapon is loaded. So right, this is number 2. You're always going to keep your weapon pointed down range, up and down range, away from anyone. You never want to flag anyone. That goes without saying. If I'm next to you, I want to know that you know this in the back of your head, because that means that you're keeping what we call muzzle awareness, right? Muzzle awareness means that you're not just pointing your gun anywhere, which way, and possibly flagging, what we call flagging in the military, or pretty much anywhere now, but it's called flagging, or showing your weapon towards the person next to you and or around you, right? So that literally helped us go into number 2. So keep your muzzle down, pointed down range when you approach your weapon, right? And then as we're going through it, right, I'm gonna unholster this, and what do you see here? This goes right into number 3, right? Keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire, right? These are all intertwined, right? All these rules, but nonetheless, here we go. Keep my weapon pointed down range, right? Keep my finger off the trigger. My finger's off the trigger. I'm going to remove any source of ammunition, right? And doing this, there's also a notch. Obviously, if you're new to the firearms world, there's always going to be magazine release, is what we call, right? Magazine release. You're going to hit the magazine release, right? So here we go. Magazine release. Remove the source of ammunition. So we'll put that away from us, right? Always put the source of ammunition away from us. In that way, we know that we've removed it completely from the equation, right? As soon as we do that, we're going to rack the slide to the rear, right? When we rack the slide to the rear, assuming that there's ammunition inside the chamber, it's going to just fly right out, right? The next time, we're going to rack it again, but we're going to lock it to the rear, right? So we're going to lock the gun to the rear, right? And now that I'm here at this section with my finger still off the trigger, finger's always going to be off the trigger. You inspect inside the chamber, inside the magazine well if you want. What I like to do and tell all my people when I'm training them or when I'm doing running a range is I want to see that pinky go inside that chamber, right? Going inside the chamber and making sure that there's no ammunition and that all the source of ammunition has been removed. All right? So once we do that, we also inspect the magazine well. See all the way through the ground, through the weapon, through the receiver. So now I know my weapon is clear. This is the last step in clearing, right? You're just going to release the slide forward, all right? And now I know that my weapon is safe. Just because I know that my weapon is safe, that doesn't mean that I'm going to continue to flag everyone, right? So first rule is what? We always assume a weapon is loaded, right? Second, we are always going to keep our muzzle pointed up and down range away from everyone and anyone. Number three, right? We're always going to keep our finger off the trigger. Number four, right? Number four is know what lies beyond your target, right? It's easy to say, okay, my target is, 25 meters, 50 meters, 75 meters away, or yards. But what lies behind that target, right? As gun owners, as gun enthusiasts, as people who walk the streets with our personal protection firearms, we have to always be cognizant, hey, if God forbid I get into a firefight, I need to know that my target is there, but what lays beyond my target, right? Because the bullet, if it misses, it keeps going. And the only thing we can't take back once we let it go is that bullet. So we always have to maintain situational awareness is what I like to call it. We maintain situational awareness and make sure that we know what lies beyond the target. All right? So that's number four. Number five, right? This is number five. Every time that you finish training, finish at a shooting range, even if you come home, if you have kids in the house, you always, 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 and I emphasize it, that's three always. You always want to clear your weapon. You always want to clear your weapon. I've been doing this for a very long time, and in my experience, whether it's in the military or law enforcement, the leading cause of what we call NDs or negligent discharges is the fact that people get too complacent. They lose respect for the weapon is what I call it. They get too lax, and they think that they're never going to let off a weapon or a firearm accidentally. And that's really what a negligent discharge is. Basically discharging your weapon without knowing that there was a source of ammunition. So that's my big one. It's my fifth one. It's always, always, always clear your weapon because things happen. You might leave your weapon laying down somewhere, which you should probably never do that. Don't ever do that because that's bad juju, all right? You don't want to be able to handle your weapon and then forget it because you left it in the bathroom on accident or something like that. Someone picks it up and thinks, oh man, this is a cool weapon. Is it loaded? Pop, negligent discharge. You're the one that's going to be liable for that. All right, so always, always, always clear your weapons. No matter if listen, I've seen it happen before with guys, soldiers, officers. They think that their weapon is clear and they let off a round and shoot themselves in the leg or shoot a buddy playing around with it. There's stories out there. You can Google it. It's nothing new. The leading cause of deaths is negligent discharges with firearms because people get too complacent, they lose respect for the weapon, and they're just not safe. They have no situational awareness. So we always want to maintain that safety. All right? So, to recap, number one, treat all weapons as if they're loaded. All right? Number two, keep your weapon pointed up and down range. Always, always, away from someone. All right? And number three, when you're holding a weapon and you're ready to fire, always, always keep your finger off the trigger. Off the trigger until you're ready. You have your eyes down your sights, down to your target, and you're ready to neutralize the threat downrange. All right? That's number three. Number four, always know what lies beyond the target. All right? Once again, we are still responsible for the things that our bullet hits from our weapon even after it hits our target. All right, so we always have to maintain that situational awareness of where is this round going if I miss my target. So always know that. All right, and obviously the last one, number five, is always clear your weapon. Guys, I can't harp on this enough. I know it's like beating a dead horse, but it's important. All right, people forget. People lose respect for these weapons. I always say, always maintain respect for the weapon. If you never lose respect for firearms, then you will always maintain safety. All right, it's too easy to to just lose sight of things and just not be too careful. So we always want to maintain safety. We always want to have fun. I mean, guns are fun, man. They're amazing. That's why America is one of the greatest countries ever. Because we get to do things like this. We get to play around with, what do I have here on my, firearms, is rifles, guns, you name it. It's all fun, but it's not fun in games when things get out of hand, out of control, and people are not safe. All right, that's all I got for today for gun safety and some of the things that we can do when we're handling weapons. Hey, if you found this video useful, don't forget to hit that like button right here on the bottom. And if you didn't like it, if you thought it was a load of crap, hit the thumbs down button twice. Don't forget, it has to be twice for you to, for it to work. And also share with anybody that you think that might benefit from it, right? Because that's the point of these videos. I wanted to get to as many people, not only my customers from our store, from our shop, but also for anybody that's just starting off and doesn't have really a clue of where to go and doesn't have really any guidance. Learning is key, and what also is key for learning is to share that knowledge, right? So if you found this video useful, please share it, like, subscribe. And we are excited to bring you more content as we go. If you haven't done so also, you can subscribe to our Instagram at Limit of Advanced Arms, our Facebook page at Limit of Advanced Arms as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. God bless you all. And happy 4th of July, because 4th of July is actually when I'm shooting this video right now. God bless America. God bless all our veterans out there. All our law enforcement officers, all our first responders, doing a hell of a job every day in the field. So thank you guys again. Thank you so much. And always remember, be ready, stay ready.